and we have returned on a Monday.
Oh, yeah, it's Monday. Welcome back.
Oh,
I am ready for Monday, Bobby Kaboose. As always, with my co-host, Monday Night Lawson. What's going on, man?
wow.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was filled with everything you could possibly think of, sports wise. We had the WNBA playoffs. We had
Jesus.
the
Okay, dude, stop right there. You're you're gonna start off with the WNBA playoffs,
yeah.
dude. We've lost half our audience already.
We had called, dude. I don't know if you saw this, but when Arch Manning, he went crazy against Sam Houston State. I don't know if it's Sam Houston State, but he scored a rushing touchdown and then like stood over and flexed on like a DB, and I'm like, bro, it's Sam Houston State. Can you relax a little bit, my guy? Like, how come you wasn't doing it to Ohio State in week 1? Oh, because they kind of was knocking your teeth around.
Didn't
But
he? Didn't he struggle against UTEP?
yeah, he was struggling against UTEP, but
Um,
And then
eh,
on Sunday there
maybe
was
he's good now.
maybe he what?
Maybe he's good now.
Maybe he is good now. And then with the usual NFL Sunday, extravaganza, dude. I don't know what it was in the air with all the missed and block kicks and special teams touchdowns and all that jazz. I saw somewhere that if you would have put $10 on every single defense or special teams that scored a touchdown, it would have won like $1.08 million. And I'm like, yeah, you know why? Because who the fuck is placing
Right.
a Vikings defense 2 touchdowns,
Yeah.
Seattle's special teams to score punt return. Like, it was really insane over the
Yeah,
weekend.
exactly. Like you're not gonna pick like fucking random games and just be like, okay, I'm gonna parlay all these defenses.
Dude, 100%.
Um,
Now, how was your weekend?
man, it was busy. So one of my best friends, he moved to the west side of the state, and so he was in town visiting and stayed with us, and he came over Friday night, and then Saturday we had a golf outing that lasted basically from 8 a.m. till I didn't get home until about 7:30 at night.
Mm.
We were fucking fucked up and exhausted. And then yesterday I had to bowl against the children. And then we went to the Tigers game straight from that, and they lost again. And they're only one game up against the Guardians. And at one point, I was told yesterday, July 4th, we had a 15 and a half game lead in our division, and now it's down to one game, and we have a possibility of not making the goddamn playoffs. Funny thing is, man, yesterday was fan appreciation day at the park.
Mm.
And so they were giving like, dude, they were giving away like TVs and shit, like big screen TVs and like all this other shit, like
Dang.
Um, so this guy hands me this flyer, and he's like, "This was on your seat," and it says winner, like like go take this to whatever section. So we were sitting right by the left field fair pole. Yes, I call it the fair pole. You know why? Because if you hit it, it's fair. So we were right there.
Not the foul pole, the fair pole.
Not the foul pole, the fair pole. So we were sitting right there, and the where I had to go was like we were in the left field. The other where I had to go was all the way um right behind like first base, So I had to walk
Mm.
around the park. So I go, I'm venturing over there. I got my little winter slip, and I'm like, okay, what do you think? Thinks this is gonna be like. My buddy was like, oh, just it's just gonna be a fucking baseball or something. I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, there's
Yeah.
a kid next to me that it's his birthday. Oh, I'll go grab that and I'll just give it to him, right?
Right.
Well, I get all the way over there. Guess what I win?
A bobblehead?
No,
A jersey?
no,
A baseball bat?
no.
Let me hear it.
A fucking koozie, dude. A fucking koozie. I'm like, I walked all the way over there for a fucking koozie.
From the foul, hold on, from the fair pole line on at third base all the way around the park.
Yeah.
Is it at least a sweet koozie?
I don't know. My friend left it there. He put it on his can, and I was like, dude, you left my koozie. And he's like, oh, my bad. And
Oh
I'm like,
my bad! I'm about to my bad a chunk out of your ass. Like, bro, what?
nah, man, it's okay because it's a
Yeah,
fucking koozie.
but
Why
it's
the?
still funny.
I'm like, dude, like for real. I'm like, this is your fan appreciation day winter thing. The people are on the field getting fucking TVs and shit, and I get a goddamn koozie. Like I would have been okay with it if it was just being a baseball and he was joking around that it was just gonna be a baseball, and I would have been fine with that. But a fucking koozie, you might as well just give me a pen, dude. Like here, here. Okay, at least I could use this koozie. I don't fucking use.
That's hilarious. There are
Ah,
pe-
damn, dude. And then it started fucking pouring,
mm,
and they bring out the tarps, and then we're down like 3-0 at the time, and we're like, all right, do you want to just leave? Like, yeah, they brought out the tarps. We don't know how long it's gonna be. So we leave and we're fucking soaked, dude. And like we're walking to my friends parked at Ford Field,
mm,
which is where the Tiger or Lions play. They have a parking garage. They're like, all right, we parked at Ford Field. Like, do you want us to drive you to your car? We're like, sure. Since it's pouring and shit. So we get in the car, dude. As soon as we get in the car, the fucking sun comes back out. Right. All right, well, it's gonna take forever for you guys to get out of this parking garage, so we're just gonna get out and walk. And so we got out and walked back to
mm,
my car, and then we went to the bar. We were there until about 10 last night. 10, no, probably later than that. 10, probably 11, 10:30, 11.
mm.
And then we stayed up playing Uno until about 1, and fucking exhausted, dude. I'm tired. My eyes won't open. I didn't want to
Hey,
do the show this night, I'm not gonna lie.
but we're happy you're
We're
here.
here.
We are here. Now, to sum up the NFL weekend per se in one word, is it not just shocking that there is at least one weekend every year that some craziness like this happens, where you have 19-point comebacks by the Eagles in the second half, which shocked me because I was one of the few that I was like, hey, I love the spot for the Rams, and it looked early and hot, but the Eagles did what the Eagles can kind of do and just overpower teams with their talent.
Who's the quarterback of the Rams?
Pat Stafford.
That's why they lost, man. He needs a he's a fraud. But anyway,
Yeah, and then when it.
um,
Oh, continue.
yeah, and then you have uh Seattle winning like 35-3 with 6 minutes left in the first half. I don't know what the final score of that was, but that was one of the easiest survivor picks I've ever taken. Um,
44-13.
44-13. Um,
Insane.
and then the Browns beating the Pack. That knocked out a lot of people in Survivor, and probably the biggest upset of the day, right?
Dude, that might genuinely be like upset of the year potentially, because I saw, not just from a betting perspective, because I think it was Bleacher Report betting on their Instagram. I think they posted where over 51,000 different slips got ruined for 1.6 total million dollars just off of that
Yeah.
game alone. And I was like, well, yeah, that was one of the more safe lock picks of the weekend and maybe of the
Hmm.
entire year. You have a team in the Green Bay Packers in which they're on, they're coming off a, in quotations, long week. They're coming off last Thursday, getting a couple extra days extended rest against the Cleveland Brown team that is, let's face it, their defensive personnel solid, but their offense, it's David Njoku and Xavier Tillman and Joe Flacco and uh Quinshon Judkins, but hey, sometimes you just find a way, and it's a block kick here and then a made field goal 20 seconds later.
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't get to see the end of that game, but it did. I'm part of that whatever stat of money that you talked about because I had a 6 game parlay of money
You and
line.
me,
I think
you and
I
me
think
both.
I think I'm four like out of the six because tonight I picked tonight's game,
Mm.
but I think I had four winners and the Packers were the only losers so far. So unfortunately, you can't have, a one leg insurance or anything like that for the stupid parlays. So that's
Mm.
why I say parlays are for suckers because, instead of me picking just fucking people to win, I try to win $800 in one thing without, you know,
Dog,
putting that much money down.
I'm right there with you when like and the app that I use because in Georgia there's not a lot of like like your FanDuel's not legal here and stuff. The
Hmm.
app that I use for my like team parlays and money line stuff like that, they know how to get me and they know that I'm a
Yeah,
degenerate to where like every time I'll go on the app just to be like, oh damn, it was one leg short. It's like, oh, 20% profit boost for the next 2 hours. I'm like, oh, I gotta use this, and then, so
right.
I'll do the gotcha stuff. But um, the worst beat for me, dog. I had not last gasp, but after my 1 o'clock, the 1 o'clock slate got chalked. I was like, I went to check and I was like, oh okay, well the Packers, cucked the majority of everything, and then
Hmm.
I had a 25% profit boost, so I threw on it was when the Steelers were tied at 14, and then the 4 p.m. window, and then the late night, and then tonight. And the only team that lost was the Denver Broncos. And the Denver Broncos looked sharp throughout, giant chunks of the game. Like,
Yeah, we were watching the majority of that game. It was a good game because
dude,
Chargers jumped out, I think 10-0, and then Denver
mm-hmm,
kind of made a comeback. And Denver, I think, scored a couple times in a row,
mm-hmm.
like pretty quickly. And yeah, it was. I don't. I This is how much I was paying attention yesterday. I didn't even realize they lost.
Yeah, dude, like, it's, um, I remember when Troy Franklin I think it's Troy Franklin the third. Him and Bo Nix were teammates in college at Oregon, and it like hit right off his fingertips in the end zone, and they ended up settling for three
Mhm.
on one of their last drives. I was like, that's gonna be it, because as opposed to jumping up, because that would have made 24-13, as opposed to making it
Yeah,
24-13, you make it 20-13, and then they trade punts back and forth, and Justin Herbert performing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL through the first 3 weeks. Like in the fourth
right.
quarter, I think he was 13 for 15 and scored 2 touchdowns. Like he was insane. Let me actually pull it up really quick. Yeah, in the fourth quarter he was 12 for 15 for 123 yards and a passing touchdown. Like I don't know what it is, but he's now started to look like his persona, if man is like that's a thing in the past, like if his defense steps up, if his
Mhm.
offensive line holds up, if his receivers learn how to catch the ball, he's starting to they as a whole team is starting to put it together. And I'm not saying that they're going to win the AFC, but through 3 weeks, this is the most dangerous team to me that the Chargers have had since maybe a couple years ago. But
Right.
and last year they were dangerous too. But the Khalil Mack injury, the Rashawn Slater injury, we'll see how that happens down the line. And I didn't even bring up the Najee Harris injury.
I was gonna say Najee Harris probably did
Dude,
he?
he popped
It
his
was an
Achilles.
ACL.
He popped his
Is
Achilles.
he done?
Yeah, he's done for the year.
Yeah.
Which it's
That's another fantasy guy for me. Thank you for my team just getting fucking killed. But my boy Jake Browning didn't do much. He was
dog.
gonna be my Lord and Savior for fantasy, but now I don't. I picked him up and put him right on the trading block, and probably no one is gonna want to make a trade for him. But I thought you were talking about Danny Dimes, dude. I kind of spaced out a little bit over there, because I'm falling asleep
Mm,
as we speak. And I thought you were talking about Danny Dimes being the MVP of the AFC and
he,
bringing the Colts to the Super Bowl.
dude, him and Jonathan Taylor have Daniel Jones. I don't know if he's looking like the quarterback that Brian Daboll had his first year when they made the playoffs
Hmm.
and upset. It was what, the number 3 seed
Yeah,
Vikings,
something like that.
the 13-3
Yeah,
Vikings that year. He's been just, his numbers have been like, over the first 2 weeks they were really eye popping. Like 272, a passing TD, two rushing, and then last week 316, one TD, one rushing, and then in yesterday's performance 228, and literally just managing the game. But Jonathan Taylor, I'm not there to say he is the best back in the NFL, because we're only 3 weeks in, but he has a strong argument that he could be the running back, of this season. Like, you look
yeah,
through 3 weeks, he leads in rushing yards per game, touchdowns, carries per game. He's been a volume guy, and it's great to see this once again just finally coming together, because he's once again, when healthy, one of the more talented running backs in the NFL.
yeah. Definitely coming out of college, I was hoping that the Lions were, taking an eye on him because I think he went maybe second round, right? Second, third round. Out of where was he out of? Somewhere in the Midwest, either Illinois. Where was he
I thought,
from?
I was it Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think he was somewhere in the Big Ten.
Let me
But
see really quick,
yeah,
because
coming out of college, man, I
mhm.
was like, this dude's gonna be a beast, and he's he's done it a couple of years, but it seems like because he's been kind of mediocre the last couple of years, hasn't he?
uh
It's been a
he,
couple. He's been like a dominant number one running back.
he's had the injury bug up and down, but he's just a consistent, just bulk of the load running back. Yeah, he was drafted in the second round in 2020 by the Colts, 41st overall, out of
Yeah,
Wisconsin. Yeah.
so. But yeah, man, my Lions are going to be playing tonight, and I'm not feeling good about the game. Lamar Jackson, usually kills the NFC, and he absolutely dominated the Lions, I think, 2 years ago, and I think that might be more of the same today.
hmm
The Lions might be able to score a little bit more than they did last time they played, but I don't think this game is going to be close.
I think this game could be nip it and tuck throughout, but whether it be a Jared Goff turnover, or a 4th and 3 that doesn't convert, that really busts the game open, or
Hmm.
it could genuinely just be, okay, um, Detroit gets ball at half, and it's like a 17-24 game, and they take their three, and then it's
Hmm.
24-20, and Baltimore just kind of runs away and just starts to continue to do what Baltimore does when. And
Yeah.
not that Detroit is a bad team, but what Baltimore is, one of the Mike Tysons of the NFL, where they will punch you in the mouth, and if you're not ready to either eat it or counter, it'll just snowball so fast.
Right.
Especially them in uh like Buffalo, Baltimore, Philly. Those teams, to me, like, those three are just the ones that they can score a boatload of points, especially in a hurry.
Yeah. Do you think that the Giants are going to be benching Russell Wilson now?
I think so. I think it's time.
Yeah, I mean he's been putting up like decent numbers and kept the Giants in some games, but yeah, man, I think if you're already 0-3, man, you're probably not going to make the playoffs. You might as well just go with the young dude and see what he's got and try to trade Russ maybe at the deadline or trade Jameis to a
hmm
team that needs a quarterback. Maybe the Browns are looking out now, yeah, after yesterday and being like, yo, Jake Browning might not be the guy, man. He was supposed to be my savior for fantasy. He wasn't at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting to me, especially when it comes down to, like, the when you trade up and draft a quarterback in the bottom of the first round. At what
Hmm.
point are you going to start him? At,
Yeah.
at what point are you going to say our season is quote unquote lost, and just throw him
Hmm.
in there for live reps? And
Right.
I know the Giants' schedule is kind of rough coming up because I know there's a stretch where they play like the Eagles 2 out of the 3 weeks, and the week in between is Denver. So it's like
Hmm.
you obviously don't want to throw him in there and lose confidence and just get beat up.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Do you just play out those games with your veteran and then being like, okay, the easier stretch. We'll get the rookie in and try to get his confidence up, design some plays that he can get some easy completions and get into a rhythm, and then see where his rookie season takes off, or what you exactly have for next year or whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's interesting that they bring in these, the two veteran quarterbacks, and they draft a quarterback, and then you know they start 0-3.
Yeah, and the time is really now to find out what Jackson Dart is, because even if you traded up for him, which they did, if he cannot play this upcoming quarterback class, there's going to be 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round.
Right.
Like especially over the next 2 years, like the quarterback class over for 2026 and 2027, it's so deep that even if you miss on a Jackson Dart, because he was a first
Hmm.
round talent, someone would be willing to give you, obviously not a first round pick, but something to at least take a
Right.
flyer on him.
Right. My stupid dogs are growling because my buddies are fucking walking around. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, man, it's it'll be interesting to see if when Jackson Dart starts um
getting serious
starting for the
snaps.
Giants,
Yeah,
man. Yeah, because I think they're pretty much a lost cause right at this point.
yeah,
Um, but they were going to be a little bit better. Like their defense, they got some studs on defense, man,
dude,
and but.
that defense is legit. Like
Mhm.
the ability to have 4 genuine elite level pass rushers, like
Yeah.
even though the Chiefs won, it was 22-9 and semi convincing, but like when you can go Thibodeau, Burns, Abdul Carter, Sexy Dexy, like those are 4 genuine dominant, not only just pass rushers, but they can also stop the run as well.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And in that in that division with the Eagles and the Commanders, if you can make them at least one dimensional, then you at least have a chance. But yeah,
Hmm.
um, you know, it's it'll be interesting when they pull the trigger because, like I said, like, are you gonna, you would like to think that you still have hope at 0-3 because it's so early in the season.
Yeah.
Okay, most teams will go through a stretch that you lose like 1 to 3 games in a row, or two to three games in a row.
Hmm.
But to have it start off your season, it's a little rough out there.
Yeah, and to your point, when do you pull the trigger and make him the starter? Because I don't know how much Giants games you've watched, maybe outside of last night, Sunday night, but there are packages in the game plan for Jackson Dart. Now he hasn't,
Mhm.
it hasn't been like a 7 step drop back, or something that is allowing him to pass the ball. It's been mostly read options, quarterback design runs, X Y Z, all that jazz.
Right.
But I like Jackson Dart coming out. I think
Yeah.
I
So did
think
I.
I think his decision making can be a little hit or miss, but I think he has the talents to be a pretty solid NFL quarterback. Now
Absolutely. Um,
continue.
No, I have no thoughts, man. I'm so fucking tired.
to s-
My
to
like my whole just mind is just blank.
you got the
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to add. I don't know how to be entertaining today. It's
goldfish
just
brain right now, blub.
I'm here. I'm here, dude. And
Hmm.
like we're trying to get through this show. Um, I got 36 more minutes. I'm just looking at the clock.
And looking at the clock.
I'm
To
looking at the clock and kneeling the ball, dude.
looking at the
I'm
clock.
like, I'm like second half water boy. Like, I'm just taking a knee.
Yeah, dude. Here's something that you can really go on. So your Tigers, we already discussed that. At one point they had a 15 and a half game lead, and now it's what, 1.5.
It's one. I think it's one.
And they play. Is it a 3 or 4 game series upcoming against the Guardians?
3 games against Cleveland and three
Starting
games against the Red Sox.
and that
Or yeah,
starting Tuesday, right?
yeah.
I just checked the probable pitcher. It's Scooble versus Gavin Williams again, which it's really interesting to me because if Scooble, if you cannot lose a single Scooble start the rest of the way, because
Oh,
assuming he has what two more starts,
yeah,
assuming.
dude. This like if they don't make the playoffs, this is where the 2024 Twins. This is the most like the biggest epic collapse of Detroit Tigers history. Maybe I'm not sure, man. We had a 15 and a half game lead, and it's unbelievable, dude. Like I don't think they did enough at the trade deadline. Dude, they just DFA'd Charlie Morton,
I
which
saw
they
that.
got at the deadline. My buddy made a point that he was like, well, because I was like, they had to do more, right? And he was like, well, maybe they knew that they weren't serious contenders, and I was like, but at the moment, you can't, you gotta think that you are because you have the best record in baseball, and a guy like, the Guardians weren't in it at the deadline.
No.
There was rumors of them selling. Why don't you go out and get a Stephen Kwan? Why don't you go out and get like, I mean, we got Charlie Morton who we DFA'd. We got a Chris Paddock who's been terrible. He got moved to the pen, I believe. Um, the only dude that we got that is any good is that Montero dude. I think we got like Paul Sewald or something, and he's been on IR since we got him,
Yeah.
or injury list or whatever it's called, the six whatever IL.
Hmm.
Anyway, um, dude, like it wasn't enough, man. You look at the Yankees, teams like the Yankees and Dodgers, and they're like oozing with talent, dude. Like it's almost like, okay, we got to find a spot for these guys, and they still find a spot for them.
Right.
If you think you have, your nine guys in your lineup and your five starting pitchers, and you're gonna be playing these dudes every day, like why can't the rich get richer? Why can't you like add a piece and be like, okay, well at least we have some flexibility, or at least we can work matchups or whatever. The way that this Tigers team is constructed with AJ Hinch kind of like being trying to be like a wizard, as far as like, okay, I'm gonna use this guy in a pinch hit situation, or I'm not gonna um start Kerry Carpenter against lefties, and we're gonna wait for the right time. Dude, that's so difficult to win like that, and it's like when you don't have the guy for the matchup, it's like, okay, you have to maneuver your pieces. Like you shouldn't have to do that. Have everyday fucking players that can hit both left-handed and right-handed,
Hmm.
and you don't have to be some kind of managerial magician, And the
It's
the fact that AJ Hinch has gotten this team to this level is kind of unbelievable.
Yeah, but it's nothing sustainable because
Exactly.
how he is utilizing his rotation and or lineup against the opposing team's pitchers. They can also do the exact same thing with your hitters. Like example, Kerry Carpenter, whose nickname is
Bonds.
Carry Bonds. They can
Carry,
because
carry Bonds.
right.
Carry Bonds. Carry Bonds. They should start doing that shit at regular sporting events.
It would be awesome. But like they can also like you're so beholden to whatever handiness the opposing pitcher is that you're not going to play a player like Kerry Carpenter who has the
Mm-mm.
power to hit both sides even though for whatever reason he only plays righties.
Yeah, I mean, he's only got about 50 at bats against lefties this year, which is, what, 10 games, if that.
If it makes no sense to me when it comes to the jumblization of your lineup depending upon the
Yeah.
handiness of the pitcher. Like I
Hmm.
understand wanting to get like the optimal like advantage, lefty, righty, righty, lefty, XYZ and
Yeah.
all that stuff. But in the playoffs, assuming you get there now, from what was almost as sure of a lock as anything.
Hmm.
Now you're in a genuine dogfight with the Guardians and a lineup that doesn't have much pop at all.
Right, and the Guardians, just have the Tigers numbered over the last few years, man. So it's like, you're facing an uphill battle even though you're on top right now, and things are, you're starting to throw shit off the deck because the ship is sinking, like, and you're
Hmm.
trying to stay afloat, and they have six games to correct this shit until they get into the playoffs, and it might be an early out for um it might be an early out for the tie. Like, even if they make the playoffs, man, they're not going to make the World Series, man. And I've been telling you on this show for the last few months that they're not a serious World Series contender, and I stand by that, man. I'm hoping that, not to be like I told you so, but I think I was the first one to be tell anyone that this team is not a serious World Series contender.
Yeah, and it would be such a heartbreaker for I was about to say Lions fans, for Tigers fans, and
Hmm.
for a lot of people that started to really buy into the Tigers due to how hot they were through
Yeah,
all the way up until the All Star break. They were one of, if not the best team, and then you know your fire kind of runs out.
yeah. So we're at the game yesterday, and the kids next to us, one of it was his birthday. Like, they had a fucking sign that it was like "Happy Birthday," fucking
Kyle or whatever his name was.
yeah, Kyle. We'll call him Kyle. Well, Riley Green, went and took a ball and threw it up to Kyle, and he caught it in his mitt. And I told Kyle's mom, I was like, "Can I steal that ball so I can be the Tigers Karen and go viral?"
Did she
And
laugh
I was like,
and
"Oh."
would take it as a good sport?
Yeah, and I was hoping that I could do that and become everyone's new Halloween idea.
It's so funny how even in like the NHL, when during pregame warmups, you'll see signs of like, oh, it's my birthday, can I get a puck? Or
Mm,
here's something that's super creative. I'll see kids holding the signs, rock paper scissors for a puck, and like certain players, they'll skate over and they'll play rock paper scissors, and
hmm
if the kid beats them, they'll toss a puck over the glass and stuff like that. It's really creative as to how close certain sports are, how really close you can get to like your players and stuff where you can interact with them.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's super dope that Riley
yeah.
Green did that. That's awesome.
That's like Prince Fielder when he was here. He stole someone's nachos.
Yeah, when he was chasing
You know?
that foul ball. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and I'm like, dude, like, you're a big boy, man. Like, that's gonna live on forever.
dude, and it's still an awesome clip that gets shown because he did that one like, oh, what, like 8, 9.
Something like that. Something
Yeah,
like that.
and the fact that the clip's still surfacing around 15, 16 years later, it's there's always just certain moments in games or in warm-ups
Mhm.
that it's just like, oh, that's what makes sports awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And
We have 27 more minutes. I'm trying to get through.
yeah,
Trying to get through.
yeah,
My eyes are, dude,
yeah,
my eyes are so heavy right now.
yeah.
Um, it's insane.
To circle back to the NFL, do you think, like, what's wrong with Brian Thomas Jr. of the Jags?
Isn't he super
Like,
fast, and isn't he like, I don't know, dude. He's on the Jags. You tell me. I
okay,
don't know about
so
this shit.
I don't
You
know about the
tell me.
Jags.
I,
So,
you know,
like,
there's a team out there. There's a team in Florida that's not my Mayfield and the Bucks.
dude, the
Um,
Emeka Ibuka, or if you want to call him the Ooga Booga Booga dude, that bro right there, he's such a baller. I was telling because once again, I got a lot of Steeler fans, and they're like, "Oh, Lawson, who should the Steelers take in the first round?" And I was like, "I would love if they got Emeka Ibuka. He just looks like a baller." And then when Tampa took him, I was like, "That's a great pick because you
mhm.
have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin when he comes back, and Jalen McMillan who's been injured, but
And you got a dude that slings it.
bro." and who's willing to sling it, and it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Like
So what's up with Brian Thomas Jr.? What's up with him? What's
be,
going on with him?
so last year he, rookie season he was awesome, third in the NFL in receiving yards. But for this year, it's been a lot of drops, a lot of targets without a lot of production, and especially for a lot of fantasy users like myself. Um, I have him in one of my leagues, and it's been like, oh, in week one catch, 11 yards, one rush, 9 yards, and a touchdown on 7 targets. Then in week two, he has 12 targets, 4 catches, 49 yards. Then yesterday,
Jesus.
six targets, 2 catches, 55 yards, including one catch for 46 yards in the fourth quarter. So for me and for Duval Nation or whatever the Jags call, their fandom, um, Trevor Lawrence has even said this, like I wouldn't I'm not losing any sleep or stock in Brian Thomas because I think
I just thought of a name that they could call their fans, but I don't know if it's appropriate.
nice, nice. Maybe we'll save that for the deleted scenes of the show
Yeah,
when
I
it
mean
goes
it's
straight to
pretty funny,
DVD.
but
Yeah,
like I don't know if it would offend people, so
yeah.
I'm not
If it's
gonna say it.
borderline,
You could
just hold
probably,
on to it.
I
Yeah,
think you
yeah,
could probably figure it out.
yeah. Yeah, just hold on to it if you can hold on to it internally. But yeah,
Yeah,
dude, especially for the Jags, when the Colts are 3-0, it's I don't understand too. What's up with the Texans, bro? Because starting out 0-3,
yeah.
you lose to who they play in week one? Who did they play in week one? The Rams. It was a
The Rams.
it was that low scoring game in LA. Like you lose to the Rams, you lose to the Bucks, but there in my opinion there's no shame in losing to those two teams cuz
Sorry, I'm live.
uh-oh.
Yeah,
Are we live?
I'm gonna see you soon, man.
Uh-oh. Are we
My
all
my
good?
boy's leaving, so
Oh.
that's he just wanted to say bye
Uh
before he left.
what's his name?
His name's B,
Well,
like the
B,
letter,
you like the letter. Not
like the letter of the alphabet.
not like the
Not
bomb.
like the B, like the stinging bee.
Uh-oh.
It's there's no E's.
Well, B,
It's just
you have officially made the Legends Clubhouse live, so,
yeah. Well, yeah, he just walked out.
but yeah, when he
So,
sees this, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but
He's got like a 3.5 to 4 hour drive, so
dang.
he's heading out today, and he doesn't have to work till tomorrow night. He's a nurse, dude. So speaking of this, man, dude's a nurse, right?
Mm,
Crazy story. We're getting off football for a second because
yeah,
I can actually be entertaining for 2 minutes while I tell this story,
goldfish brain.
bro. He comes over Friday,
Mm.
and he's a nurse, and he's telling us what happened at work, and some dude tried to off himself, tried to unalive himself by using a chainsaw to the throat, and he was unsuccessful.
Oh God.
So he went like straight up like this and missed both of his arteries by a millimeter. And I guess his head looked like my buddy's got a picture of it, and I was like, I'm not looking at that. Like everyone else
That's
did, and they're like, oh my god. I guess it looked like the Beetlejuice people.
that's
Yeah,
insane,
dude.
dude.
How are you
That's
gonna try to off yourself with a fucking chainsaw and not be successful, dude?
because now you're messed up for life.
Yes,
That's
but yeah, it's
that's
it's
insane.
insane,
Like that
absolutely insane
with a chainsaw to the throat
with a
is fucking
chainsaw.
that's ridiculous, dude. That's so
Yeah,
nuts. I I
so
I
yeah, that's what he had to deal with, prior to coming over, but
I was gonna say
crazy.
I assume he was the one of the ones that like treated him.
No, actually, he's like a floater, so he goes on different floors and shit,
Yeah,
and he happened to go into the emergency floor, and one of his coworkers was like, "Dude, you have to check this out," and he's like, "Oh my god!"
that's crazy, dude.
So yeah,
To spotlight a single defensive player over the weekend, Isaiah Rogers, senior. I think it's senior, junior, senior, senior.
I don't know. I know
Uh,
Sean Rogers. I know
Sean.
Charles Rogers.
Oh,
I know.
he's not a junior or a senior. I don't know what
I know
Rogers,
Mr. Rogers
Mr. Rogers. Um,
and his neighborhood.
he at his neighborhood. He might have had the best, like one of the best defensive, just pure performances. Like he had a pick six, a forced fumble that he also picked up and took to the house. Another forced fumble. Like
Who does
he
he play for?
he's the Vikings DB.
Oh, dude, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's a I don't know ball.
All I,
He
dude, I have nothing in my brain right now. Literally nothing.
goldfish brain blub.
Dude, 100%, dude.
He
I
got
am just looking at the clock, waiting until 20 more minutes till I can lay back down and sleep for another hour and 15 minutes
dude.
before I have to
He
start work.
got and for someone, if you
We're
take
on airplane mode,
or a
autopilot,
put that bitch in cruise control, right? Um,
autopilot.
but for someone, if you value like PFF grades for like individual games stuff like that, he got a perfect 99.9 PFF grade, which I think that's the first time that anyone's ever got a perfect PFF grade.
I get a perfect PFF grade every day, so um, you know, bite me.
So bite me. But yeah, dude, like two defensive touchdowns, two forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, two pass deflected, a pick. Like he single handedly beat the
A little
Brown.
bit of everything.
Beat yeah he as a corner, but as a, as a corner.
Yeah.
And apparently one of his two pass deflections was against Jamar Chase in the end zone, and I'm like, dude, it's awesome.
Well, in everyone else's defense that never did this, they weren't versus Jake Browning.
That is also very true. That is also very true. It I understand wanting to have confidence and belief in your guys that are in the building, but when at the end of the day, he's Jake Browning.
Hmm.
Call the jump. I saw some people saying, should the Bengals trade for Kirk Cousins? And I'm like, that would be too much money tied into two quarterbacks. Like Kirk Cousins already makes a boatload on
Yeah.
top of Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow's coming back
Yeah, you would. I think you would have to either go for Russ or Jameis. If you're the or the Bengals
for real.
thinking about doing something like that, or go after one of your Browns 7 quarterbacks.
Oh
Oh
hell,
man,
yeah,
dude, you on in 2? Fuck, dude.
you got me, man. But yeah, it's just for someone who never had much, for someone who didn't have a lot of like hope or expectation for for this Bengals team this year. Um, they looked piss poor, and it's kind of scary because the Steelers play the Vikings in Ireland this upcoming weekend. So it's like, well,
Mm.
their defense is
Yeah.
flying high.
What, you scared of the Irish?
No, I'm scared of the Vikings in Ireland, but
Why would
it
you?
is
Why aren't you scared of the Irish then?
because the Steelers can handle the Irish fine.
I don't think
It's
they
the
can.
shit they might. To here's something I can go on to eat up some more of your clock. Um,
Dude, just keep going, man.
dude,
I'm just
just
gonna.
go.
I feel like I feel like I'm drowning the show anyway. I'm like I can't be entertaining.
No,
I
you're
can't
good.
fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't even know what fucking sport we're talking about. We're talking about
Listen,
Irish people in Ireland
listen.
versus the world.
Just like for a lot of people that say relationships are 50-50, I'm gonna give you a little secret. They're
Hmm.
not. There's going to be days where it's 90-10. There's going to be days where it's 60-40 one way, 60-40 the other day. And today might be one of those where it's 85-15. And it's okay.
You know what?
Don't even worry about it.
That's not a good point at all because most relationships should be 100-100. You should be fully in, fully committed. And for me, I'm not fully committed right now because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. God damn, dude.
I,
I just want to go on a rant, but like I don't know what to rant about because I just feel like mumbling and
these,
just saying shit and
yeah.
just getting through this and being able to talk for the next 16 minutes nonstop about whatever pops into my head, but nothing is popping into my head. So it's like, how am I supposed to be entertaining, do a show, do all this? There's so much pressure on me right now, and all I want to do is sleep.
Well, I'll eat up some of that time. The Steelers defense, I don't know if it is a mix of injuries or just us not all being on the same, unit. And besides Mr. Kaboose saying that, oh, I know what the problem is, y'all suck. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
but there are some
good stuff.
things. There are some things you can do. Like when we force 5 fumbles and pick them all up, and only win by 7. That's dude. I was watching that game like I don't well, what the hell's going on? Like there are the middle of the field is so sweet. Like it's and I wish Arthur Smith could take a little bit of just see what the Patriots do because they have 2 really good tight ends. We have 3 really good tight ends, and the Patriots just utilize both tight ends in the flow of the game. And once again, if it wasn't for Demario Douglas going backwards on a 4th and 1, which I don't know if you saw the play, but it's 4th and 1 on the pit on the Steelers. Oh no, they're on like their own 30, right?
Mhm.
Down 7, obvious go for a situation. They throw like a little receiver, not a screen, but it was like a flat with a blocker, and Demario Douglas instantly, as opposed to just turning upfield, takes a side step backwards, and I think it was Brandon Eccles, made the tackle, and I've seen so many clips of Patriots fans like, why don't you just go forward? Because like he
Yeah.
caught it initially, went back, and then it was the tackle for loss short, and it
Hmm.
makes me laugh as to the situational awareness, especially for the Patriots, because for so long, you have Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. The number one thing was situational awareness. You always knew where the sticks were. You always knew what down it was. You
Hmm.
always knew exactly what you needed to get. And once again, not saying that not saying that it's a loosey goose operation now, but it's the new era of the Patriots. And even Drake May, being even though he's a second year player, said, "Oh, well, that's not on him. That's on me to make sure my guys know, just get it and go, as opposed to trying, not saying." Because Drake May didn't say, "Oh, he danced too much." He just said, me, just as a leader, I have to say, it's 4th and 1. Just worry about getting the first down. Just worry about getting the first down.
Yeah, the Patriots ain't gonna be good for another 50 years.
You don't think so?
They had enough. They had enough winning.
Do you not believe in Drake May, or you just still
I'm,
it's up in the
I'm
air?
just saying, like in general, like it's hard to win a Super Bowl, and this is their curse. This is the curse of Tom Brady or whatever the hell you want to call it. But they're not gonna be good for another 50 years. I'm putting that Lions curse shit on them.
I mean, if any team, franchise, organization deserves or needs a curse, it's them. Because once again, do you know the amount of awesome teams that they got in the way of from winning Super
It,
Bowls?
it's funny because like some people my age, and probably yeah, yeah, people my age. There's a lot of people that are Patriot fans because of Tom Brady and shit. I
Right.
wonder if those people are still Patriot fans. You know,
Um, that's a
people
good
would be like, "Oh,
question.
I'm a diehard Patriot fan around here," and I'm like, "Okay, do you just like Tom Brady, or do you actually like the Patriots? So, like, are you still a Patriots fan when they suck ass? Who
Either
knows?
way,
It'll be interesting, like people like your age, when
Chiefs fans.
when Holmes retires,
Uh,
if they're still Chief fans.
the ban that's what's interesting to me is like the bandwagon fans that, and once again, I'm not hate, if whatever players, athletes you like, that's what you like.
Hmm.
The thing is, like, this shit means something to me. You pick your team, and you live with the sword. You die by the sword. Bro. Like, if you're a Browns fan, you're a Browns fan for life. If you're a Cardinals fan, you're a Cardinals fan for life. One of my best friends, he's a Cardinals fan because growing up, he liked Calais Campbell, and Carson Palmer because he's a USC fan, and so he's
Yeah.
like, you know what, I'm a Cardinals fan for life now, you know, and he and oh that brother's gone through the thick of it from Aaron Rodgers Hail Marys in the playoffs to Super Bowl toe taps to starting out 8-0 and then collapsing down the stretch. Like it's been rough for Cardinals fans for a long time.
Yeah. I know this dude that he claims he's like a diehard fan, but all of his diehard teams are just the best teams in the league.
That shit irks me when you
Like
when you
like
say
it's like Ohio State, it's the Yankees, and the basketball team's the Heat. But and I'm like, dude, like
let me guess, he became a Heat fan around like 2011.
no, he actually claims that he hates LeBron. So
Hey,
weird, right?
I was gonna say it's kind of. I mean, I guess, but I don't. So it's like,
Right.
sure, dude, you brought in a guy that you made 4 consecutive NBA finals and won 2 of them, and you're like,
I don't.
fuck that
I'm guessing
guy,
he wasn't even a Heat fan, but prior to that,
right?
like because at one point he was a Red Sox fan, and then I think LeBron like bought some stake into the Red Sox or something, so he became a Yankees fan. I can't make this up, dude.
That's so funny. He said, not only am I gonna hate you in this sport, I'm gonna hate you in the other one. Like,
Yep. I'm just like, all right, dude. Like, I guess you always just want to win.
I also don't understand like the hatred of players. Like if they don't, well, not if they don't do it on your team, but like if they do it on your team, then they choose to leave. It's like, oh, you could have stayed and kept. Like, dude,
Yeah.
he came, you won, they left.
Right. Like, and but like it's like you were almost saying I hate when people are like, rooting for them because they didn't do it here and
Yeah,
do it somewhere else. Like they didn't do it for your team. Like they don't care about you, dude. This was a job to them. Like
dude.
they don't
For
fucking care about you,
I
the city, whoever.
I think I gave it the example when it was the Bucks Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and Antonio Brown was on the Bucks and Le'Veon Bell was on the Chiefs. I was like, regardless, a former member of the Killer Bees is gonna win a Super Bowl,
Hmm.
and I was happy with whatever outcome because I'm like, those were my guys. I wish they would have done it here. It didn't work out, but I'm happy to see like a former guy win a Super Bowl. Now, in your case, it's like I don't give a damn about Matt Stafford, dude.
No, I
No.
don't care that Justin Verlander won a fucking World Series in Houston. He didn't do it here.
Yeah.
It's like, you wish they would have been able to do it here,
Hmm.
but I'm not gonna root for you because you did it somewhere else. That does nothing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the. It sucks so much. Because I don't know. Because I remember Antonio Brown's last Steeler game in New Orleans. In New Orleans, where he caught 14. He had like 13, 14 catches for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, and never played another down again. And it pisses me off that that's how his Steelers tenure ended, with a fucking masterclass that we lost. Still irks me to the core. There's
To the
there's
core.
Dude, there's just a handful of plays like the Jesse James play, the Demarius Thomas fucking overtime play. Um,
Dude, that play with Tebow was awesome.
oh, it was a great moment for Tebow and the Broncos, and it came at my expense.
Yep.
And it
Oh
came
God.
and it came at
Dude, I'm
my
so
fuck.
fucking beat, man. I don't want to work.
Yeah.
I just want to sleep.
When do you ever want to work?
Never. But I just want to go back to sleep, dude. I
Well,
am fucking tired.
well,
God damn.
thankfully, we're in the last 5-6 minutes, so you know what that means.
Um,
Nerfy time.
Murphy.
Now it is not a big slate at all.
All
When you
right, I'm picking like the best game of the day then.
Oh yeah, you go ahead and you tell me which one it is, man.
All right, what day is it? 22nd. Let me get here.
Yeah, go
Let
ahead and
me
look
get
that
here.
slate, Bucko.
Hell yeah. I was hoping the Rockies were playing.
It's
Um,
genuinely one of three. It's the two of the three games.
all right, give me the last game of the day. Give me Verlander versus McGreevy. Cardinals versus Giants. Verlander's been he's been good lately. They another guy they could have went and got at the deadline.
That would have been a
Um,
crazy return.
and he could have been our 2006 Kenny Rogers when he was a rookie. He could have been like that and helped us get into the playoffs. He's got a 3-10 record, which obviously ain't good, but he's got a 3.75 ERA with 127 strikeouts.
Mm.
He is going against Michael McGreevy, who is 7-3, 4.08 ERA with 53 strikeouts. Cards, Giants for the
Cards,
Nerfy.
Giants. I'm gonna do the exact same matchup that I took the last time these two teams played. Give me the game of the two funkies, Mackenzie Gore and Chris Sale. It's so funny because last time I took this exact same matchup, Mackenzie Gore loaded the bases in the first inning, and I was like, oh, scared. Need a pop up, need a pop fly, need a grounder, and he ended up getting out of it clean. Now Mackenzie Gore, for the entirety of the season, he has a 5-14 record. But what do we say about records?
They don't matter. What if we parlay all three games?
What if we
What if we
parlay
do
all
that?
three games? I mean, there is only three. You know what? For all three games, if you go on, let's use FanDuel to look. If you go on FanDuel and you parlay all three Nerfies under. Holy hell, there's no juice on mine. It's a minus 160. Jesus Christ. And it's a minus 160 for the Brewers and Padres game. And it's a minus 122 for all. So, yeah, if you go and you parlay all three games on FanDuel, it's a plus 380. Are you checking what it is on DraftKings?
Yes, I am, and it's a plus 414, 414. So that's something I might do today.
Yeah, and for Gits and Shiggles, if you use Novig for certain states that don't allow your FanDuel, DraftKings, things like that, if you were to parlay all three games, you can get it at a plus 408. So if you just want a little bit of excitement on this very